Hello everyone, this is Paleo Nerd here with a quick little video. I've been having a bit of delay on the series-wide analysis of Jurassic Fight Club. Bit of editor's block, just haven't really been in the mood. And I figured I'd just release a quick video to help pass the time, give you guys a new video to watch while you're waiting for that one. This was actually an idea presented in the comment section of one of my natural history of Dromaeosauridae videos. I think it was part 2. That suggested I go over the Encyclopedia Britannica articles on dinosaurs, specifically this one about Dromaeosaurs. So I thought I'd just look over this article, see how up to date Britannica is with their information. Judging by this picture right here, I don't think we're off to a good start. But let's just get on with it, I guess. So here's the title: Dromaeosaur. Simple. Dinosaur. I'll do that. Dinosaur. Simple. That's correct. That's correct. Dromaeosaurs are dinosaurs. You get a point, Britannica. Written by the editors of Encyclopedia Britannica. It's no specific name, just the editors. Like, written by. Shouldn't it be written by the writers of Encyclopedia Britannica or edited by the editors? I don't know. Article history, we're not going to have a look at that because we're just looking at how it is now. Alternative titles: Dromaeosauridae, that's the family that these dinosaurs belong in, and Raptor, that's what everyone and their mom seems to like calling these. I personally don't like calling them raptors, mainly because they're also used to refer to birds of prey, and I think, like, Jurassic Park really did seem to start this, mostly because the Dromaeosaurs they used are called Velociraptor, so just ending with Raptor, so just calling them Raptors is easier to say than having to say Velociraptor every time. Even though not every Dromaeosaur has a genus name that ends with raptor, and there are some other theropods that end with raptor that aren't Dromaeosaurs. Like there are like some Carcharodontosaurs, like Sinraptor, Siamraptor. Oviraptorids are a great example of that. They're a separate group from Dromaeosaurs. Oviraptorosaurs, I meant. Oviraptorosaurs. And there's a lot more. Raptor's a pretty common thing to find in dinosaur names. Not as common as Saurus, obviously, but it's up there with theropods. So, Dromaeosaur, family Dromaeosauridae. Any of a group of small to medium-sized carnivorous dinosaurs that flourished in Asia and North America during the Cretaceous period, 145.5 million to 65.5 million years ago. I'm not sure what's up with the commas here. This seems to be structured like a definition that you find in a dictionary, so I think that would just be like a colon here instead of just commas here. Whatever. Small to medium-sized. Yeah, that's about right. Most Dromaeosaurs were pretty small or medium-sized. There were some large ones, but as far as I know, those were pretty rare. We only know of 4 right now, I think. There's Utahraptor, Oculobator, Dakotaraptor, and Austroraptor. Carnivorous dinosaurs really seems like they could just say theropods here. I mean, they say theropods right down here, so I mean, yeah, there are herbivorous theropods, and I believe some are thought to be omnivores too. But, I mean, most people think of theropods as the meat-eating dinosaurs. So, I mean, it saved you a few letters up here. Flourished in Asia and North America. I mean, most dromaeosaurs are found in Asia and North America. But, I mean, they've also been found in South America, Europe, and there's possible remains on pretty much every continent. Africa, Australia, Antarctica. Dromaeosaurs have pretty much been found on every continent. They're not always described or diagnostic, but during the Cretaceous period, yep, all known dromaeosaurs that we've discovered as I'm making this video are known from the Cretaceous period. We pretty much have them from they've pretty much been found from the very beginning to the very end of the Cretaceous. I mean, like, but the thing is, like, dromaeosaurids are part of a group called the Paraves or Paraves. I think it's one of those. That also includes troodontids and birds and a few other groups, like Scansoriopterigidae. And those other groups, troodontids, aviolans, and Scansoriopterigids, all first appeared during the Jurassic period, during the mid to late Jurassic. Like birds, we get Archaeopteryx. Troodontids, we have Hesperornithoides. Scansoriopterigids, pretty much all of them are from the mid to late Jurassic. But then we have dromaeosaurs. And then for dromaeosaurs, we just have a bunch of indeterminate remains from late Jurassic Germany. And they're pretty dubious as dromaeosaurids. But yeah, dromaeosaurids likely did first appear sometime during the late Jurassic. It's just their ghost lineage. We don't have any confirmed fossils, no described specimens, no named dromaeosaurids from the Jurassic. Agile, lightly built, fast running. Except for the fast running, dromaeosaurs weren't really that fast, about 10 to 15 miles per hour for most of them. These theropods were among the most effective predators of their time. Yeah, they were. They existed a pretty darn long time, so they were undoubtedly very effective. They've outlived a bunch of other dinosaur groups. So now we have this picture of what I'm assuming is Velociraptor, mostly because of the head, and that's the one most people think of. It's very naked, really needs some feathers. Screaming in agony because someone took all of his feathers. And he's also clearly been starved. He's very shrink-wrapped. So he's probably screaming about that also. The arms here actually the hands here actually don't seem pronated. They might be like semi-pronated though. It's kind of hard to tell. You got the sickle claws here. They're a bit thick, like the sickle claws should be a bit thinner. This one right here seems a bit bigger than this one. That might be an error of some kind by the artist. And then this one is also kind of like, it's weird. It's like fat. I don't know what else to use to describe it, but it's fat, basically. Size here is about right. All dromaeosaurs were bipedal, Second toe, extremely flexible, bore a specialized killing claw or talon. I've never heard anyone refer to a second claw as a talon before. It could work. I mean, they do look a lot like eagle talons. They weren't used in walking, that's right. Always held off the ground, much larger and jointed differently from the other claws. Yeah. Largest killing claw belonged to Deinonychus, 13 meters 5 inches in length. Deinonychus probably did not have the largest killing claw. If I were to guess, it'd probably be Utahraptor. I don't remember exactly how big their sickle claws were, but I mean, Utahraptor was basically a bigger, bulkier Deinonychus anyway. So you'd expect the sickle claw to be a lot bigger, especially since Utahraptor had to tackle very large animals like iguanodonts and small sauropods. They did have large heads with sharp serrated teeth. Long arms ended in slender three-clawed hands used for grasping. Like troodontids and birds, so they do kind of acknowledge that these three groups, Dromaeosaurs, troodontids, and birds, are closely related. Dromaeosaurs had a unique wrist joint that allowed the hands to flex sideways. Not entirely sure what that means. Flexing sideways. Is that their way of saying pronating? Because they couldn't do that. Saying the hands flexing sideways. I don't know, that's kind of confusing. Maybe like a few more pictures to demonstrate what they're talking about would have been helpful. This evidently helped them seize their prey. In birds, the same motion produces the flight stroke, so like flapping their wings. Okay. The tails of Dromaeosaurs were also unusually long, that's right. Most Dromaeosaurs probably had tails that were about at least half the animal's body length, if not more. Somewhat stiffened by bundles of slim, bony rods that were extensions of the arches of the tail vertebrae. Yeah, they had ossified tendons in the tail, so it was really stiff. Could really only move it right here where the tail meets the hip. This whole thing about them, about how they hunted, running down their prey, probably small to medium-sized herbivores, seizing it with the front claws while delivering slashing kicks from one of the taloned hind legs. In doing so, Dromaeosaurs may have been able to hold this one-footed pose by using the rigidly outstretched tail as a counterbalance. By this one-footed pose, I'm assuming they mean this one up here, which just kind of looks like the Velociraptor's just in mid-step. But that's the only picture, so this one-footed pose, I'm guessing that's what it's referring to. Or they may have attacked by using both feet in a single leaping action. Relatively large brains enable them to carry out these complex movements with a degree of coordination unusual among reptiles, but quite expected in these closest relatives of birds. First off, Dromaeosaurs could not run down their prey. They weren't built for that. They weren't pursuit predators. They were ambush predators. So they would have like ambushed them from like a tree or a rock or just like bushes. I do like that they say small to medium-sized herbivores. They're not claiming that they could just like take down giant hadrosaurs or anything. The larger Dromaeosaurs could like take down like iguanodonts and hadrosaurs, like smaller ones, but like the normal average quote unquote Dromaeosaurs like Deinonychus and Velociraptor probably hunted smaller to medium-sized herbivores. Deinonychus is kind of a bit of an exception. It probably did hunt Tenontosaurus on occasion. Relatively large brains. Yep, they did. Dromaeosaurs had relatively large brains. Carrying out complex movements, degree of coordination, sure. Oh boy, this is where they talk about the fighting dinosaurs fossil, Velociraptor versus Protoceratops. Fossil evidence supporting the prediction of grasping arms and slashing foot claws was borne out by the discovery. Shouldn't it be born out of the discovery? For an English dictionary, this doesn't seem to have good grammar. Was borne out by the discovery in the 1970s. Shouldn't it be a discovery? Gosh, this sentence is just blah. By the discovery in the 1970s of a velociraptor preserved in a death position with a small ceratopsian dinosaur, Protoceratops. The hands of Velociraptor were clutching the frill of Protoceratops, and the large foot claw was found embedded in its throat. Okay, fighting dinosaurs does not prove that they slashed with their foot claws. It's just the Velociraptor was likely just using its sickle claw to puncture the throat, likely to get to the jugular vein or the windpipe. Either one of those would have worked. It's kind of a bit like how saber-toothed cats likely use their giant canines to puncture the throats of their prey. It's very similar to that. That's likely what was happening. Also, it's kind of weird that they do kind of neglect to mention that the Protoceratops was biting onto one of their Velociraptor's arms with its beak. But it looks like they have a separate page for that, so that's probably where they mention it. Okay, last paragraph. Deinonychus is a well-known dromaeosaur that averaged 3 meters, 10 feet in length, stood about 1.8 meters tall, and weighed up to 70 kilograms, 155 pounds. I think that's on the low end a bit. I could be wrong. I mean, it says average, but I think there would have been some variation. That's fair. That's a pretty fair estimate right there. Although it's kind of odd that they put the feet for length, but not for height. It's just something weird I just noticed. Utahraptor was considerably larger, but is incompletely known. I mean, yeah, we have found more fossils, so this might be out of date. I don't actually know exactly when this latest version was. Dromaeosaurus and Velociraptor both reached a length of about 1.8 meters. Oh, look. The first time that they've mentioned the type genus of this group, of this entire group, in like the last paragraph. Anyway, both reached a length of about 1.8 meters. Yeah, about that. Around that, yeah. There is debate as to whether Microraptor, the smallest and most bird-like dinosaur known, is a dromaeosaur or a troodontid. Only about the size of a crow, Microraptor appears to have possessed feathers. The single specimen was discovered in China in 2000 from deposits dating to the early Cretaceous. As far as I know, there's no debate about Microraptor's classification. I've never seen anything suggesting it was a troodontid. Everything I've seen suggests it was a dromaeosaur. I could be wrong, though. I mean, I guess back when it was originally found, there might have been some debate as to the classification. But, now, I think it's pretty much guaranteed that Microraptor is a basal dromaeosaur. Smallest and most bird-like dinosaur known. Both of those titles are pretty debatable. Microraptor is one of the smallest dinosaurs. Most bird-like dinosaur, the most bird-like dinosaurs are birds. They probably mean non-avian dinosaurs, but still. Most bird-like non-avian dinosaur known. I'm not really sure what that would be. There's Scansoriopterygids and Anchiornithids, which are both debated as to whether they're actually birds or non-avians. Microraptor appears to have possessed feathers. Yeah, that's right. The Microraptor has been found with feather impressions. The single specimen was discovered in China in 2000 from deposits dating to the early Cretaceous. I'm pretty sure there's more than one Microraptor specimen. We have 3 species right now. So, there's definitely more than just a single specimen. That's it. That's the last paragraph here. This article was most recently revised and updated by Richard Pollardy, research editor. Probably should have done a better job here, Richard. Then learn more related articles, Deinonychus, Cretaceous period, and Theropod. I'm sure those will be interesting ones to talk about. But those are for other videos. So, if you guys liked this video and you're interested in seeing more, let's call them Britannica fails, maybe I'll come up with a better name for them later. If you want to see more of these, let me know down in the comments. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and this is Paleo Nerd signing out.